Greetings, YouTube. Welcome back to the channel. I have been excited to do this rank up. I have a question to ask the audience with it. But I've been excited to do this rank up for a long time. The problem is I don't have him awakened. And one of my favorite champions that I still think I'm going to, of course, eventually take to rank 4, though he's not at the top of the list because I use him a fair amount, but not as much anymore with Alliance Quest Map 6 as I do some of the other champions. Even I use Namor slightly more. But Omega Red is fantastic. And he also has some fantastic synergies. And one of them is with Colossus. A plus 2% attack rating for each armor up buff and well-timed blocks grant an armor buff. That's awesome, because I'm a parry guy. Of course, if the game is broken, relying on parry is a little bit, shall we say, risky. But my problem is my Colossus has not been awakened. And so I didn't want to just use a generic Awakening Gem or even class-based Awakening Gem when I had one. On him, I wanted to wait. Well, my awesome twin Prof box in a Act 7 Exploration basic Nexus awakened my Colossus. And so, yes, he is now only Sig 22, as I will start to put 6 stones into him. But I've also had this big debate about what Sig should Colossus even go to, you know? So I don't know the answer to that. I don't know the answer to that. So I need your help determining that. But we are going to start. Oh, and by the way, before you do any of this, I almost forgot to do this. I have the most tier 4 class catalyst and mutant. And so I'm going to try to trick the algorithm. I'm going to try to have them give me more mutant than everything else, because usually the algorithm gives you the class you don't need. And so I might open as much as, well, at least 10, but maybe even 20. And I'm looking for more yellows than anything else. Normally I wouldn't be, right? Normally I'd be looking to maybe even trade those in for another class. But since the algorithm knows that I don't need yellow in theory, even though I'm about to use a ton of them, look at that! I tricked it! I tricked it, YouTube! Ha ha ha. Do you see this? This is called tricking the algorithm. So, I can all but guarantee you, if I had tried this exact same batch of 10 after the Colossus rank up, I maybe would have gotten 0 yellow, but certainly not 3. But the game knows, or thinks it knows, I should say. I've been doing this for years now. I know how this works. It thinks it knows what I don't need. Because look, I've got 20 out of 20 mutant, and then I've got 11 science, 14 mystic. The tech was actually pretty lucky. I have 5 tech, and it still gave me 2. But it is not a coincidence. It is a patented algorithm fact from Kabam on their patent website itself, that they have an algorithm for everything in the game to try to make it fair, which is a nice way of saying we don't want you to get what you need when you can spend money on it. I mean, it makes sense, right? Why would they give you the tier 4 class catalyst you need when you'd be much more willing to either buy tier 4 class catalyst, or especially now the game has evolved, tier 4 class catalyst fragment selectors, or just selectors in general, if you're lucky enough to get fully formed selectors, which Kabam is also still pretty reluctant to get. So, now that we have added to our mutant list and tricked the algorithm, we are going to take up this man first to rank 2. That's the first time that's ever happened. Milestone completed. Daily crystal upgraded. Free crystal upgraded. New calendar unlocked. The funny thing is, that's supposed to be triggered with Wallet Breaker when you take your third 6-star to rank 4, I guess. But of course, I already had that when I downloaded the new patch. Right now, I'm taking a 6-star to rank 2. This has nothing to do with Wallet Breaker, and yet the message was triggered because I've never seen it before. That's kind of funny and also kind of bizarre. All right, so what a time to be alive. Let's get that science out of the way and go back to mutant. Isn't that funny? I think that's funny. Maybe I'm the only one who thinks that's funny. I don't know. Okay, so now we are in rank up mode. Felt like I just won a prize or something without knowing it. Wild. And here we have Colossus in all his glory, assuming that the game will catch up and we'll be able to, well, there we go, load the ISO. I also just survived over golf ball size hail in Oklahoma, which Stillwater normally doesn't get the same kind of hail as, say, Norman or Moore. And little spoiler alert, when golf ball size hail is raining down on your house and car, it sounds like basically the world is ending. And I thought to myself, well, guess I'm not recording any more YouTube videos because I'm dead. But clearly, if you're watching this, I didn't perish in the hail storm. I do want to show a picture of it before this video ends, though, just to show you what I mean. All right, hey, check this out. Look at that. All of a sudden, I've got enough rank up materials. So now the big question, because I've had people tell me, Prof, Colossus is so much better at max sig. And I've had other people tell me it's diminishing returns after like 670. I've looked at different charts. I've consulted different people I trust. I've gotten like 7 different answers. He is somebody that I depend on for Omega Red. So in terms of somebody I will use, yes, he is definitely on that list. So my question becomes, what sig should he be at? And I want to show that because, well, let's just inspect my first world problem of problems. Also, it's important to note that when I claim my catalyst, I have a lot more than it looks, you know? In fact, I still have almost 9 out of 10 Tier 5 Basic and still 20 out of 20 Tier 2 Alpha with still some Tier 2 Alpha in the overflow. And remember, if you're like this and you need more Tier 5 Basic than Tier 2 Alpha and you've got access to the Black ISO store, just trade those suckers in. Okay, so going to my inventory of items to end this, you can see 125 plus ones maxed, but way more than that. I've got an additional, look at all those potions I didn't use for Max 7 too. 75 plus ones. I basically have enough to take a 6-star to SIG 200, and we'll talk about that in another video. But basically, should I use some of those on Colossus? And if I do, what's the sweet spot for my man Colossus, who isn't, of course, with his PI being so average to low, really, isn't going to be anywhere at the top of my PI list, but that's not what Colossus does. All right, as promised, to end it, it is time to show you truly a photo that freaks me out. Amongst my front yard was hailstones like this. And yes, that is my hand. So, yeah, these things hit my roof, hit my car. I haven't seen any significant damage yet, but you never know. Oklahoma kids, never a dull moment.